Let's check out today's conversation. Mike sits down with defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys, DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus walks us through all the ups and downs of his journey, from when he finally joined the football team.
Finally got to play when I was around 10 years old. It was definitely a dream come true.
To his realization that he was in the way of his own dream.
Oh snap, my dream is dying. Am I moving that bad?
To how he ultimately strengthened his mindset.
All right, like now you have to really take accountability into what you're bringing into your life.
All of this coming up next on the Level Up Lifestyle.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Level Up Lifestyle podcast. I'm your host, Mike Sheets, and we are coming to you live from Globe Life Studios in McKinney, Texas. So excited about today's episode. We've got a very special guest in from the star in Frisco, Texas, the Dallas Cowboys defensive end, DeMarcus Lawrence. Welcome. Thanks for being here.
Man, appreciate you having me, brother.
We're so excited to have you here, man. As you know, the Level Up Lifestyle is all about embracing that journey and talking about what brought you to the person that you are today. You know, we see you on the football field on Sundays doing a great job. And a lot of people don't see that process that you went through to get to where you are. So That's what we want to go through, is just that journty. So let's dig into it. All right. You ready to get started?
Let's get it.
All right, let's go. So born and raised in Aiken, South Carolina. Take me there. Let's start from the beginning.
All right. Aiken, South Carolina, very small town in South Carolina. We actually right by Augusta, Georgia.
Okay.
You know, if you enter the city or you ever been there, like you'll see like it's just full of trees. It's very green. And at times it's hard to see out. You barely can see down the street, you know, because of the tree cover. Yeah, man. And, you know, just being raised there, raised in a great family, mother and dad home, and grandma stayed with us.
Okay.
So my dad, he used to work fiberglass company, make fiberglass for planes. And my mom, she actually had two jobs while I was growing up. She worked at the plant as in the cafeteria.
Okay.
And then she had a cleaning service also.
So they're a lot of times they're at work, you're at home, and you said your grandma is kind of at home with you while the parents are out working. What did that do for you, just from the perspective of hard work, having to, if you want something, you got to go out and get it, right? I'm sure that you're learning these lessons very early on where you're like, where are the parents? They're out trying to provide for you and your siblings.
Oh yeah, most definitely. You know, and my dad installed that into us growing up, you know, just having us out on, you know, Saturday mornings, raking the yard, you know, cleaning septic tanks, you know, fixing pipes under the house.
All the things that kids want to do.
All the things, I'm telling you, instead of watching cartoons, you
right.
know. Man, you know, being able to have, you know, my dad in my corner and, you know, seeing how hard he worked, you know, to keep our family afloat and, you know, to make sure we had, you know, Christmases. Like, you know, I know it was tough on him. And, you know, like waking up on Christmas mornings and, you know, like, where's dad? You know, like, you know, he had to pull a double today.
Wow.
You know, to make sure, like, you know, he can pay for these gifts.
It's the time and a half, right? You know, put in that work.
Indeed.
Right?
So, you know, just having that, you know, as my background and my foundation, you know, it definitely taught me stability, you know, as a child.
Yeah. And you brought up an interesting point, too, right at the beginning where you talk about just in the South, especially that corner of the Southeast, Georgia, South Carolina, there's trees everywhere.
Right.
It's very green, but like you were saying, it almost can feel like it's containing in a way, right? Did that impact kind of you as a kid?
Yeah, man. You know, definitely for my mindset, like, you know, I had mentors and my dad, you know, I remember hearing this saying when I was a kid, you know, if you can see it, you can dream it, you believe it, you can achieve it. And like in that environment, it's like, well, shoot, I only can see trees. Like, so like the dreams that I'm dreaming, like, how can I actually achieve it? Because I can't see it.
Yeah.
You know, and like, you know, just growing up, like, luckily I had an older cousin that was playing football for the high school. His name was DeMarcus Lawrence.
Okay.
And, you know, being able to actually see him, you know, play the game, you know, and also, you know, win at that type of level is like, oh, now I get it, you know.
Yeah.
So that's how it all,
It's almost like visualization. Like you had to learn that visualization that a lot of athletes talk about of seeing something in your mind because you can't physically see it because you can't see down the street.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. And, visualization is a big part of, the athlete being able to, see what you want to accomplish and actually taking those steps to, do it. And having my cousin as that example and, seeing him go out to college and to the NFL, it was like, all right, now I actually see it, and then him having the similar name as me, like Marcus Lawrence,
Yeah.
DeMarcus Lawrence, like, no, I actually can be this,
Yeah.
So now I'm here.
Now you're here. Now in Dallas, where we don't have enough trees, the sunset looks like it's over an ocean sometimes,
Yeah,
right?
indeed.
So yeah, absolutely. So when did football become a part of your life as a kid growing up? Did you always want to play, or was it something you learned later on, or what was that journey like?
Yeah, so funny story, man. Like me growing up, like I always wanted to play. Like I was telling you, I had my cousin as the example, but my dad always working. He had missed the sign-ups for football. So, like, when it comes to that time, I, go see my cousin, like, hey, man, what y'all about to do? Oh, we about to go to football practice. I'm like, huh? What? Like, when was the sign-up?
Yeah.
Like, why ain't nobody signed me up? Like, I don't know. Shoot, I think the sign-up over, though. Like, they already got the team. So, I'll be at the house, just soaking, like, shoot, what I supposed to do? Like, who I'm supposed to play with, like, so.
Sure, like wake up really early in the morning before your dad leaves, like, don't forget.
Man.
Sign up today.
Shoot, I wish, I was just being a kid at the time,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And, I ain't understand nothing about sign-ups or, whatever. Shoot, I'm thinking I could just, put on the pads and go play.
Yeah.
And not having that happen for me for 2 years, straight as like.
And this is at what age were you wanting to play?
Like, 8, 9.
Okay.
Yeah. So around that before you get to middle school.
Sure.
Yeah. So having that happen to me, it was like, man, like I actually can see the dream, but like now I can't touch the dream. You know what I mean? So it was kind of hard on me, dealing with that. But
and the cousins are playing.
Yeah, the cousins having a great time.
Yeah, they're hey man, you're watching them score touchdowns and
right,
do everything you want to do and.
Yeah, seriously, watching them score touchdowns, having that shine and, those proud moments where, the parents are proud of them and, all that. And it's like, dang, like that's supposed to be me, so.
Did it make you more hungry, though, you think? Like you just wanted it more and more?
Yeah, I mean, now that, I'm older and, my picture done played out how it is, it's like, you never know what road God's going to send you down, in order to, receive your dream. But, you just got to have faith and trust in him that, everything's going to play out how you want it to.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think as we get further down this story, there's a few of those moments where you want one thing and then something else happens.
Yeah.
And you got to make that decision, right? Is it sit here and ask why me and almost sulk or feel sorry for yourself, or okay, this is the scenario.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's not going to change. Let's move forward. Right.
Absolutely.
So when did your dad finally sign you up? When did you get to actually play?
Yeah. So I finally got to play when I was around 10 years old.
Okay.
And, it was definitely a dream come true. So I was out there with all my friends, and, just having a blast. And
it's full contact football. It's not. Yeah.
we don't do that flag football.
No, we're going in.
Yeah. So, got to play with all my friends at the time, and it was definitely amazing time. And I remember in that year, I seen my cousin. He twisted his ankle or whatever. He got hurt, and the ambulance came out. To take him off the field, and like I don't know why it was so cool. Like, but it was like, oh snap, the ambulance come, like, shoot, I want to get hurt.
Maybe it's the attention of it, or right?
Yeah.
That must have been a heck of an ankle injury to have an ambulance come out.
No, he was just off.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
No, but I thought it was cool, and I was like, all right, I want the ambulance to come out,
Yeah.
Then the ambulance didn't come out. My dad came out. Boy, what's wrong with you? Ain't nothing wrong with you. Get your butt up. Let's go. So
where's the ambulance?
So, I got up, stood up, scored a touchdown.
Okay.
So, yeah, man. But, just having him, to back me and, made me stand tall as, a man or a boy at the time. Like, shoot, I ain't know that's what I actually needed.
Yeah. Well, and so it sounds like, your family is very supportive of you. And a lot of that support is through them providing. And, once you get into football, they're still in your corner. It's just, it took some time to get to that point.
It definitely took some time. And, shoot, I'm gonna circle back, like, from my grandma, you know, and, the faith that she installed in me as a young boy. She used to always come in there and read scripture to us before we fall asleep. And I didn't know how important that was, and just covering me and, protecting me throughout life.
Yeah.
And now, that's something that, I do for my kids.
I think that's important. You embed that in somebody at an early age,
right,
that they feel the sense and just what's important and keeping their head moving in that right direction.
Oh yeah, most.
You got to be intentional.
Most definitely, very intentional.
Yeah.
And then being a kid, like, you don't understand all these fundamental values, that your parents or grandparents try to instill in you, and you just go through life, and you just think life is supposed to happen. And I remember when I got to the age of 13, and my parents, they took me to like a youth revival at church, and they're just telling me like, hey, you're at the age now where you can make your own decisions. We feel like you should make the decision to give God your life, and we want to give you the opportunity to actually get to know Him. So through that process, they took me to church, and I'm learning about God, doing the Bible studies, and I made a decision to give my life to Christ, at the age of 13, and that just propelled in so many different levels.
Yeah, but they let you make that decision as well, right? And I think that's giving your kids the ability, like, I'll give you the foundation,
right?
But then it's your life, it's your decisions to make, and supporting you in that as well.
Most definitely.
So tell me a little bit about just that relationship with your grandma, and because was she more of the she's raising you kind of on a day-to-day type of a thing, right? While your parents are working, or what was that relationship like?
Well, yes, kind of, sort of, definitely in the summers, but like from the school year, like, so my grandma, she was on dialysis.
Okay.
And, she used to have to go there like twice a week. And, I just remember, my mom having to work, her 2 jobs. So my mom would be gone by 3:30 a.m., just to be to the cafeteria to prep everything for breakfast or whatever. And my grandma, she'd have to be on the dialysis bus at 4:30,
a.m.
a.m. So,
so are you helping at that point then, or do you step in?
Yeah, so that's when, my responsibility, started to pick up in the household, and, I had to step in, and funny about my grandma, like, she was like, she used to call me Bunga. She's like, my Bunga, the only one that, clean and cook for me the right way. So, like, I want him to, take care of me. And, I ain't up to 10, 11 at the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, but
how'd you feel about that? Were you glad to take care of her, or was it?
It was definitely a proud moment. Like, shoot, grandma trusts me, out of all y'all and the cousins and the, her actual children, like, she's trusting me. So definitely was a proud moment for me, to be there for my grandma and to, have that type of responsibility, and it was like, I'm up at 4, getting her ready, 4:30, putting her on the bus, 5 o'clock come back, I'm like, all right, I can get a little hour in before, I got to get up for school, and then it turns into like, nah, don't go back to sleep, because you fall asleep, you ain't going to wake up.
You'll be more tired when you wake up.
So I sit there for an hour, play the video game, then I have to get my nephew up, for school, then get myself dressed, and we'll both get on the bus, so that's how it was.
But that's a lot at that age of responsibility for you to take in and accept. And did that work ethic that you started to develop there, are you seeing that, I'm sure, playing later on in life and giving you that drive?
Oh yeah. Shoot, and I'm just thinking now, like, shoot, just at that time, like, just the time of waking up that early in the morning, like, that was something that actually needed, because of my work schedule and how early I have to wake up now, just to do my job and also, get my kids prepared for their days, at school. So like, it's definitely, well needed, at the time.
Well, and I feel like to succeed at any level, especially in the NFL, I'm sure, it's the hours outside the schedule, right? You have a scheduled time that you're there for a practice or, you got OTAs, mini camps, practice during the season.
Yeah.
And then you've got the things you're doing after that.
Right.
You can't just turn it off.
Yeah.
You got to be on. You got to be up early doing other things for yourself to get ready for that. And then when it's over, those elite competitors, it's what you do in the periphery that makes that success. Would you agree?
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. Just feeling like, every person in this world should have a schedule. And, being able to put those barriers up makes you not, step out of line or, just fall off of what you're trying to actually, accomplish.
Yeah.
And, being able to, start at an early age of understanding that I have to have a schedule and, in order for me to, achieve my dreams, like I got to understand what I'm going for, but also like how to, grab it.
Yeah. It's huge. Okay, so let's go back here. You're getting ready for middle school.
Right.
Is there middle school football that you play? What's that like?
Yeah, so middle school was the rebellious stage. So get to middle school, just finished playing football for like the Pee-wees or whatever. And, now I'm there. I'm thinking like, all right, I'm scored a couple of touchdowns and stuff. I'm that guy now.
You playing offense, defense, both? What are you doing?
All that.
Okay.
Yeah, doing all that. So, so I get to middle school and I get suspended out of school. Yeah, I get suspended out of school. Just want attention. Yeah. And actually got that attention. So in middle school, I'm 6th grade, trying out for the team and, I make the team, but me and the teacher get in an argument or whatever. She write me up, get suspended. So my dad's like, all right, you know what happens. You get suspended, you off the team. Like, that's the school rules. So, I'm in there heated like, man, this teacher, she done took my dream away, whatever, and when I get back to school from suspension, I'm in class, and something's like, look behind you. Don't say nothing. Look behind you. And I'm like, my dad's there. So I'm in there trying to, be the best, in
the class.
In the class. So I'm in there trying to be the best student I could be, and
I've always threatened my kids with that. I never actually did it. So
oh yeah. Yeah, he definitely did it. And trying to be the best student I can be, he's right there behind me. You know this answer. Put your hand up. Yes, ma'am. The answer is, and having him there, to be hard on me, like, I ain't understand, like, like, if you don't have, this type of presence over your head, like, you probably just jump off and just do whatever, as a boy, like, we don't have no fear, growing up in this world. Like, we think we're superheroes. We can do whatever. And, he had to, basically humble me, into, understanding that, hey, you're still a young boy. Like, you can't just get away with these type of things. Like, you have to still be respectful. You have to, be quiet to speak, and sit back and try to understand because you don't know what you think you know.
Yeah.
So.
And almost installing those guardrails in your life at that age, because a lot of times if you don't have those guardrails, you go all over the place and one wrong decision and you're not playing football in 6th grade anymore, right?
So that happens, and now I'm like, all right, cool. Now, going to 7th grade, right? And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm about to, play football again. And nope, Lord sits me down again. It's like, you're still undisciplined. You're not listening. So get to school, have another, altercation with the teacher. I was in the bathroom, too long, so I get written up for that, so in school suspension, you're off the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my dad's like, you know what? I'm tired of this. I need to change your environment. So he took me out of that middle school and took me to Aiken Middle School. And I'm like, shoot, well, like, it's the beginning of the school year. Like, shoot, I maybe can still play football. But the team already said, like, you're not getting on the football team, coming 2 weeks in the school year.
Right.
So it's like, all right, like, what am I doing so wrong that, football keep getting taken away from me? So 8th grade year, I'm at Aiken Middle School now. And, like, I make the football team. And, I'm there for the practices, being dominant. Coaches love me. It's like, man, like, where have you been? Like, all that. So, I'm starting to feel a little proud again, and 2 weeks later, my grades ain't all the way up. So if you're failing, you can't play football.
You're off the team.
You're off the team. So I'm off the team again. So
this is like a continuous pattern. Like, I want to play football, forgot to sign you up.
Yep.
Okay, next, I want to play. Sorry, forgot to sign you up.
Yeah.
And now you have these, these issues. Did you think like, okay, maybe I'm not supposed to play football? Was that running through your head, or I got to get through these challenges so that I can play? Or, I mean, what are you thinking at this point?
Shoot, at this point in my life, I was really thinking like, Lord, like, why am I so, messed up? Or why every time something good happens to me, something bad happens? You know what I mean? Or, it was a lot of things running through my mind at the time. But, also like just being in that, it was like, shoot, man, like, I'm going to do whatever it takes, to, get that feeling again. Like, to be able to play the game again.
So it's motivating in a way. Like, I gotta fix what I need to fix.
Oh,
maybe, you talk about that path. Maybe there's things that you had to get through to then be able to have this. Because if you hadn't gone through that, you might have lost it all further down the road. Yeah,
indeed. And got another story for you down the road about that.
Yeah.
And then so now, I'm like, all right, Dad, like, I don't learn my lesson. I want to go back, to my old school district.
Okay.
So 9th grade, so when you transferring from school districts, like, I don't know if it's still the same, but like back then, like, if you transfer like that year, like, it takes a year for you to be eligible.
Because they're trying to prevent the coaches from recruiting.
Right.
Yeah. It's probably pretty prominent here in Texas too, I would think, right? There's got to be some high school recruiting rules. Yeah.
Yeah. So that year I get there in 9th grade and it's like, you still can't play. So, I'm like, all right, bro, like, so what can I do? Like, it's like, all right, you can work out, you can lift weights now, So started lifting weights, started, making relationships with the coaching staff. And then 10th grade came around. Get to play, so now
finally,
now I'm playing, and I was on JV at the time, and then I got moved up to varsity. But my 10th grade, so my 10th grade science teacher was my D-line coach.
Okay,
Coach Hofstetter, never forget. And I didn't study for his science test, and I'm in there like, man, dang, like, if I fail this test, like, they ain't gonna let me play this week. So over there, looking over like
trying to be sly.
Yeah, trying to be sly, and he's just in the front of the classroom.
Probably looking at you.
Looking
primarily
at me.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm turning my test in at the end of the class. Hey, DeMarcus, let me talk to you for a second. It's like, why you kept looking at her paper? I'm like, what do you mean, coach? Like, like, man, I just took my test, shoot, turned it in. Like, I hope everything right on there, It's like, I'm gonna have a talk with the coaching staff and, your parents about this. I'm like, what? It's like, you just blatantly cheated on the test, dude. I'm like, man.
I watched you right in front of me.
Like, coach, man, I'm trying to, do this for, me and the team. Like, man, like, we got a game this week, It's like, can't do it. They suspended me for the game.
Wow. So just for the game, though?
Just for the game.
Okay.
Yeah. But like, I don't know, it was 2 games.
Okay.
Yeah, they got me good. Yeah. I remember it, they got me good.
Well, it stick with you all these years. So, what about just like self-accountability and some of those lessons that the teacher, the coach is trying to instill in you at that point? How did you feel in that moment?
Shoot, embarrassed.
Yeah.
Shoot, really upset with myself that, I wasn't accountable enough to actually do the work myself and, turn in my work. I turned in somebody else's work. You know what I mean? And it was like, shoot, like, if you do that on the football field, you ain't gonna be on the football field.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, dude, like, everything you can find to do wrong to keep you from football, you're finding, and I think through that time, like, you start to understand, like, all right, these little lessons, these small little things that I'm doing wrong is actually teaching moments. So, like, when I do propel, like, and do everything right, I have no setbacks because I already done went through all the setbacks.
Yeah. You're going to be faced with moments similar with maybe heavier consequences later down the road.
Right.
And now you can rely on that experience to say, oh, well, hold on, I know where this goes. Let's go down this path instead.
Yeah.
And here you are.
Here I am.
So through high school, what was your playing career like? Did it give you what you wanted? Were you still kind of in this back and forth of not being quite what you wanted to be on the football field?
No, so then we move up to 11th grade, playing tight end and D tackle at the time. We ran the 3-4 defense.
Okay.
Yeah, man, I'm, catching touchdowns now. Me and my quarterback, best friends, so we got that relationship.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
I'm just having a blast, high school. And, then it gets to my 12th grade year. And now, being recruited by colleges and stuff. And it's like, hey, your GPA is a little down. Like, you had a 2.9. Like, in order to get in college, you need to have a 3.0. And it was like, oh man, like I just had a great football, season this year. Like now, like I can't even actually get, recruited by Division I colleges, so it's like, all right, like, are you going to play basketball this year or are you going to just focus on your grades? And, I had to, have a long sit down with myself on like, what's more important? Like, you graduating and, going to college to play football or, you living out and playing this year of basketball, and it's like, my team was so raw. We was going to make state. Well, they still made state without me, but, if I was there, like, could have possibly won. And it was like.
But you made that choice to I'm not going to play basketball. We're going to have a championship round. You're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And it seems like so now all these lessons, right? Making that decision to go further down on football. I mean, you see that's kind of guiding you a little bit.
Yeah, it definitely did guide me. And, once I took that step and started focusing more on my grades, like I got a chance to go to a North-South All-Star game. And, went there, balled out and
that's North Carolina versus South Carolina, right?
Yeah. North Carolina versus South Carolina. Yeah, so balled out in that game and I had junior colleges coming up to speak to me. And crazy coincidence, like this college called Butler Community College came up, dude with a raspy voice named Coach Flo. Hey, DeMarcus, how you doing? I actually coached your cousin Marcus Lawrence. Yeah, and I'm like, what? Like, oh, that's crazy. He's like, I'd love to have you down at Butler. Like, we got a great program, all that. So I'm like, all right, cool. So, I call my cousin Marcus, like, hey, man, hey, cuz, like, Coach Flo? He's like, yeah, that's my dog. Like, like, why? He recruiting you or something? I'm like, yeah. So he's like, hey, I'm telling you, like, you go down there, they got a coach named Coach Bratt, one of the best D-line coaches in the world. You should go there. Like, if you ain't got no D1 offers, go there. So I was like, all right, coach. All right, cuz, I believe in you, so took the chance, and signed with Butler.
Okay, and it's in Kansas.
In Kansas.
No trees, only corn.
No trees.
Now you can see,
land.
Right? Almost like, it's kind of crazy, though. You think about you're in South Carolina and the trees make you feel you can't see your dreams in a way. You feel crowded, and then now here you're in Kansas and you make that decision and there's no trees. You can see as far as you can dream.
Yeah, man. Then, just arriving in Kansas, that fall, early summer, like I'm arriving on campus and, I'm like, all right, like this is supposed to be college, so driving from the airport all the way to El Dorado, Kansas, and I'm seeing nothing but land, like no buildings, no nothing. And I'm like, what in the world is this?
Had you left South Carolina before, or had you gotten out of the South before? Or this is your first time?
I had an opportunity. My uncle took me to New York before, so it had that growing up. But, this was totally different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You've never been Midwest.
Never been Midwest.
Yeah.
So, stepping off that plane and actually seeing what it was like, oh, snap, like, you can do nothing here, So, so I get on campus, right? And I'm like, where are all the students? Where is everybody? So I go down to coach's office, like, yeah, man, you're a week early. And it's like, oh, geez. Like, so now I'm like trying to figure out the lay of the land, and I'm like, all right, like, got my little dorm room, got my little fridge and stuff, I'm all set up. Now I need a little TV, and I need some groceries. Like, all right, look on the phone, where's Walmart? Walmart's nothing like but a half a mile up the street. So I'm like, all right, I can walk there. Nah, you can't. Kansas,
it's a cornfield.
No, Kansas heat is totally different than any other heat in America, because like you don't understand like what the trees do for the environment and actually protects us.
Sure.
From the sun. Kansas don't have no trees.
Yeah.
So me walking down the street thinking a half a mile is a half a mile, it felt like 5 miles, and I make it to Walmart and I'm like, man, I can't walk back out there right now.
Well, wait for the sun to go down.
So, I'm just roaming around Walmart for a good hour and a half. And I'm like, all right, like that walk was pretty extent. Like, so like I see right behind Walmart, I can see the dorms, across this field. So I'm like, I'm gonna walk straight through this field. So I got all my groceries and stuff.
TV.
Yeah, like, and I'm trying to walk through the field, and like it's starting to get nighttime now, and it's like, hey, dude, like this is not a cornfield but a cow field. Like, so it's like you don't see the cows, like, but look down.
Yeah, what are you stepping in?
Oh man, it's cow manure everywhere, and it's like, oh geez, like. So
this is your welcome to Kansas.
That's my welcome to Kansas moment. Yes. Okay.
Oh, that's great. So once you started getting in playing, what did you feel like now you're able to reset a little bit? Because you were playing defensive tackle.
Yeah.
And you wanted to be defensive end.
Correct.
Right? So you felt like you were playing out of position a little bit.
Yeah.
In high school. Now you're a defensive end.
Right.
Are you only defense now? Did you give up the tight end piece?
Only defense.
Okay.
Yeah, so when I get there now, at the time they had a 12-man out-of-state rule I didn't know about.
That only 12 men from out of state can be on this team.
On the roster.
Because it's a junior college.
Yep.
Okay.
So now I'm there and, seeing all these big athletes come in,
You've been there a week early, so you thought, like, I made the team, I got here first.
Right. So, I'm already settled, and now all the rest of the team's coming in, and, like, I'm starting to see all these big guys. I'm like, bro, like, this can't be junior college. Like, what is going on? Like, these are Division I athletes, and they telling me, like, yeah, man, some of these athletes, like, they get in trouble or whatever in D1, and they have to transfer back down to, junior college, so, like,
at last chance right?
Basically, yeah. So it's like at the time, like we already had a DN, and crazy coincidence, like his name was Tank Carradine. Yeah, you know how everybody called me Tank, So like I'm telling everybody, like, what's up, man? My name's Tank. It's like, nah, your name ain't Tank, bro.
My name's Tank.
Yeah, so he wasn't there then. Like I'm introducing myself to everybody else, and they telling me like, nah, bro, like. It's a whole nother Tank that goes here, bro. And I'm like, man, bro, like, shoot, man, I've been Tank since a little kid. Like, I'm Tank, So, he rolls in, and I never forget, like 6'8", 295 pounds still. I look at him. What up? I'm Tank. You got it, bro.
Yeah, I'm DeMarcus. I'm D-Law.
You got it. He's like, no, but you can be Lil Tank, So he's like, I call you Lil Tank. I'm like, man, it's so damn embarrassing. Like, shoot, I'm up here, with men now, you know, and now I'm being called Little Tank.
And he's a D1 guy that came down, right?
Yeah, so he actually signed with Ohio State.
Okay.
And I forget what trouble he got into, but like, he had to come down to JUCO and, he was the DN, so it's like, all right, so if you big tank and I'm little tank, you got to teach me how to play this position, so he actually took me under his wing and, started helping me, learn the defensive end spot.
But that's a key point, I think, too, is, you could have just felt like, oh, well, this isn't what I thought it was going to be. Let me go find somewhere else to play, or, I'm going to be tank and now I can't be who I want to be. And this guy's here and it's just not fair. And instead you said, all right, teach me.
Yeah, man.
Let me learn. And that takes something. What did that do for your career later on at spending that time with him?
It definitely propelled me to, be able to play on the team next year. But like, I ain't had many opportunities, so I had to really be humble about, the opportunity that was presented to me, because like, shoot, where else I'm going to go? To another junior college?
Yeah,
you know what I mean? By the time I get there, what happened to me in, middle school and high school, like they already got their team's
done. They already got their tank. They're good.
They already got their tank, you know what I mean? So, I'd be on the sideline again. So it was really like, just stay humble, man, like, because God wanted to send you here if you wouldn't, going to play. So it's like, all right, like I'm going to sit this year out, I'm going to get strong, I'm going to get big, just like Big Tank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And shoot. Yeah. So next year, he goes to another D1, Florida State, and now it's my opportunity to play. So like, I ain't understand it was actually a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
Because now it gives me 3 years eligibility to play for a D1 college. So
okay.
Now it makes D1 schools more interested in you. You know? Yeah. So
because a lot of times coming out of that junior college, you got 1 or 2 years left.
Yeah, you got basically 1 or 2. Yeah, for real. So now I have 3 years still eligible to play D1. And ball out at Butler, and getting recruited by all these big name D1 schools, Oklahoma. Kansas, all of them, even Miami.
You're already good on Kansas, or I'm in Kansas right now.
So, but when I was still working out with Big Tank, like one of my friends, he came in, he's like, hey man, I know this recruiter from Boise State, dude. Like, I've been talking to him ever since high school. Cool guy. You want me to link you with him? It's like, sure, So links me. I'm on Facebook, texting him like, hi, I'm DeMarcus Lawrence, play at Butler, like, come check me out or whatever. Like, and I didn't know, like, he actually, reached out to the coaching staff, asked about me, they sent them film on me and stuff. And he was like, hey, like, I actually want to talk to you. He was like, bro, we want to offer you a full scholarship to Boise State.
Wow.
I'm like, huh? Like, I didn't even play football yet, It's like, yeah, like, we want to offer you. It's like, all right, cool. So Boise was actually my first offer.
Okay.
Yeah, and I ain't even play for Butler yet. So
the
next season roll around, I'm starting to play. Now I'm getting the offers from Oklahoma, Miami, Tennessee, all these guys. And it was like, my mom, like Coach Peterson from Boise State at the time, he actually went down to South Carolina to meet my parents. And, just his style and,
wants to get to know the dynamic of you probably too. Yeah.
Yeah. So like, and like his style and, just him, going in there and just telling them, how he was going to, help build me up as a man instead of, just a football player. That's all mom needed to hear, So she,
so your decision was made.
It was basically already made. So it's like, all right. So I get back from finishing that football year, and my mom, she's like, hey, I met with the head coach from Kansas, Boise State, and you took us on a visit to Tennessee with you. She's like, out of all those coaches, this was the only one that talked about, helping you grow as a man.
Mm.
And she's like, and at the end of the day, I want you to live out your dream, play football. But what's more important to me is, your growth as a man, because football will be gone one day.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, Mom, like, if that's what you see for my future, I believe you. I'm going with Boise State.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it weird playing on a blue field? Because that's what they're famous for. Is that a home field advantage? Because the other team shows up and they're, oh my gosh, look at this, and you're used to it? Or what's that like?
Yeah, it definitely could be a home field advantage. Especially, if we got them blue uniforms on.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
You just blend in.
Yeah, just blend right in, But it definitely was a fun time
Sure.
of my life. Being on that blue field. So I used to wear silver cleats, all silver.
Okay.
And it's like, hey, I can actually be a superhero here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be the Silver Surfer.
Okay.
So like I came up to move, what I mean? Like I'm surfing or whatever. So it's basically like, had the thought process of, all right, now like I'm running on water. Like, so
sure.
Yeah, it made me look faster.
Okay. That's right. That's right. Yeah. So what was your Boise State career like then? So you guys experienced some success. Obviously you're playing the position, you're doing well. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so now I'm at Boise State and, coaching staff love me. Got my position at DN, everything is flowing good. And, make it through the whole first year, no problems. Then I get to the bowl game. And the bowl game is in Vegas, first time, actually being in Vegas is like, oh, snap.
It's not distracting at all for a college kid.
Definitely not distracting, but so, I get a call, one of my cousins, one of my girl cousins, she's like, hey, your mom told me you in Vegas. Is that true? I'm like, yeah, like, wow, what's up? She's like, I'm actually out here. I'm like, no way. So it's like I got family around now, like, I'm good, So like, man, shoot, actually, we got time off, like, come pick me up, So this is around like 6 p.m., and right before we went to Vegas, coach tells us, have a team meeting. It's like, hey, we all have a 11 p.m. curfew, strict curfew. I'm telling you now, if you miss curfew, you will be sent home. No exceptions. So, I'm in Vegas, shoot. Cuz just came and picked me up, 6 p.m. Like, all right, shoot, I got until 11. I'm good. So we there playing cards, having a good time. And she's like, hey, we actually going to go out, so we got to go get dressed, and shoot, we'll take you back to the room. So shoot, while they in the room getting dressed, I'm like, shoot, lay on the couch, watch TV until they, get ready. Not even looking at the time, I fell asleep. And someone's like, get up, and I'm like, I look at the clock and I'm like, it's 12:30.
Oh, no.
I'm like, what is going on? I run to the room. She's on the phone with her boyfriend. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, she's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, oh, geez. So, I get back to the hotel.
You just try to sneak in, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, oh, snap. Ain't nobody in the hallways and that. So, like, all right, Lord, I might be good. So, went in my room, went to sleep. Wake up for team meeting around 8. Everybody's already in the team meeting room. I'm like, what's going on? Like, what did I miss? So as soon as I'm trying to walk in, one of the scrum staff coaches, like, hey, stop right there. Like, you got to go back out. So I wait in the hallway. Head coach came out. He was like, you remember what I told you, before we came out here? It's like, what? If you miss curfew, you will be sent home. It's like, I'm running a team here. Like, I can't make an exception for you. So, I'm sorry.
So you got to go home.
We already got your plane ticket back to South Carolina.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, oh snap, my dream is dying. Like, I done made it all the way to this point to now get removed from the team. Like, how? Like, dang, like, am I moving that bad that, you know what I mean? Like, I can't be a part of the team. And it's like, no, it's just the small things, dude. So.
And that's a big point too, is like all these little small things are snagging you on your way and on your journey. Do you feel now, I'm sure you felt a certain way about it then. Looking back now, is it almost how the coach was feeling that promise he made to your mom that we're going to teach him how to be a man as well versus just football is holding you accountable to something? I'm sure that was hard for him because you're the tank silver surfer here, coming off the edge, and he's going to lose that, but he's got to stay accountable to what he said. I mean, do you feel that way now? I'm sure you didn't feel that way then.
Oh yeah, definitely feel that way now. And, respect them at a whole different level, now. But at the time, shoot, I'm heated, man. I'm going through rage emotions. Like, man,
Yeah.
like, he's trying to take this away from me. Like, know how important this is to me, but, having him do that, definitely, gave me another wake up call. Like, you can't take this for granted, dude. Like, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and this time is going to pass you in 2 more years. Like, you only got 2 more years left, like, to play football. So,
Yeah.
like, what are you going to do? So, after the season, me and him had a talk on the phone, and I was like, man, coach, like, I know what I did was wrong. I apologize to you and the team, for putting you in that position. Please let me come back. He's like, Marcus, you still have your scholarship. Like, we want you back. So get to go back to Boise.
Okay.
So I make it back in like March around that time. And like, I'm there, and shoot, football season about to start, and shoot, we have a back to school party or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And an incident occurred as soon as I walk in the party's already filled. So I'm in the back of the party, and I hear this dude, it's like, yeah, there you go right there. So I'm looking around like, who are you talking about? It's like, yeah, that's the dude that, messed with your girl, and I just see him flick a pocket knife.
Mm.
And when I looked in front of him, I seen it was one of my teammates.
That he was talking about.
Yeah. I was like, my heart dropped. It was like, react now or it's over for him, So
you go to protect your teammate.
Yeah, I go to protect my teammate, So I hit the dude, and, riot breaks out in the party. Everybody, runs out, and we get back to school that Monday, and coach called me down to his office like, we hear a fight happen over the weekend. You was involved, and I'm like, coach, like, I don't went down this road before, so I'm not gonna lie to you.
You can tell him exactly what happened.
I'll tell you exactly what happened, and it's like, so I explained the situation to him. He's like, okay, well, I'm gonna ask Robert about it, and he called Robert in the office, and he said, coach, I have no idea what happened, so it's like, dang, like, I got your back, but you ain't got my back, so like.
How'd you feel?
It's definitely heartbreaking, it's like, dang, man, like, you out here, trying to protect your boys from harm, but who's going to protect you?
Yeah.
And it's like, I get it. I need to, stay away from all this and really just focus on myself now.
Right.
Because, shoot, the ones that you think got your back ain't always got your back.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's good that you were there because you did protect him.
Yeah.
Right. So, but then sometimes it's, the other side is one way to make sure you're not in that situation is not to be there.
Yeah.
Or be in that situation.
Right.
Right. So did you get in trouble again here on football?
Definitely got in trouble again, man. And what was so significant about this one was like, so this is the beginning of the, of the school year, and it's like, all right, first game of the season was against University of Washington. So, 2 different divisions playing against Pac-12 teams. Like, all right, like,
it's a big game.
Yeah, we need our shooters now, you know. So he actually didn't suspend me for that game. He suspended me for the next game when we was playing a team, I think Miami, Ohio.
Okay.
Where
like an FCS team?
Yeah, where he know I was gonna get about 5 to 7 sacks. You know what I mean? So like it was like,
but he didn't need you on the edge in that game, right? He needed you for Washington.
Like, so it was like, oh snap, like, dude, like, sitting here trying to be a hero for everybody. Now you actually taking food out your mouth. It's like, all right, nah. So, stayed on the screen path, throughout that whole year. But also he suspended me for that game, but he also gave me this thing called commitment time.
Okay.
So commitment time is after the games on Saturday nights. Instead of you going to party and have a good time with the rest of the fellas, you actually staying in doing work from 10 to 1.
What kind of work?
Cleaning up the facility, your homework, your school work, whatever work, they can find for you. Yeah. So like I had that throughout the whole season.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So at the time, I had my girlfriend, we going, steady, and shoot, she's like, babe, me and the girls want to go out. I'm like, shh, babe, you know I got commitment time. Oh, sucks for you. You know, it's like,
see you at 1.
See you at 1. I pick you up. And it's like, you know, they come back, you know, all happy and giggly and stuff. And, you know, I'm just sitting there like, oh, so y'all had a great time, huh?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, yeah, you should have been there. These people came back, you know, because at the time, like, when I came in, it was right after Kellen Moore era. So, you know, Kellen will come back, you know, Tyrone Crawford, you know, all these guys will come back, and it's like, shoot, oh, y'all having a good time with my guys,
right?
You know, but I'm stuck here.
But these lessons keep coming back to you, right? And be committed and be focused. And so, as this is happening, when is the NFL? Are you thinking this whole time it's NFL? I know every college kid, that's their dream, right? Mm-hmm. But when is it like this is going to happen? And then how did that kind of path to the draft lead up to getting drafted by the Cowboys?
Yeah, so like, not gonna lie, like I always had, you know, I mean the dream, but like actually like being able to understand like, no, this is actually real for you.
Yeah.
Like is when I got to Boise State, it was like, no, like you're actually doing it, you know. So when I first arrived at Boise State, I was like, man, shoot, I'm gonna do 1 year and I'm out. You know, I'm going straight to the league. And, you know, like getting suspended in the
not playing in the bowl game didn't help.
Playing in the bowl game didn't help. And then turning around the next season at the beginning, you know, didn't help. So, you know, it basically said like to, you know, NFL scouts and coaches, character issues.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like, all right, now like, you know, you have all these foundations and, you know, barriers around you to safeguard you, you know, so what are you gonna do? So in that time, like, my girlfriend gets pregnant my junior year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, shoot, man, like I can go back, you know, and play my senior year, or, you know, I'm gonna have to take a leap of faith because, like, if you get hurt in college, you know, your stock drops.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, that's
millions.
That's millions, you know? Like, so I was like, all right, like, I'm gonna make this decision and, you know, enter into the draft. And, like, my grade came back and it was like, second to third round, but all the like agents and people and scouts I was talking to, they were saying 5th to 7th, and I'm like, what? Like, it's like, yeah, man, you know, character issues, you know, still need to develop, you know, and consistency. Yeah, so I was like, okay, so like,
is that almost like a chip on your shoulder though? Because you had these lessons instilled in you, and you kept finding yourself in these situations,
right?
That, you know, is almost branding you in a way that you're like, that's not who I am.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's how you felt, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
Is that putting a chip on your shoulder? Like, I'm gonna prove everybody wrong? Or how do you feel when you hear those types of things?
Oh yeah, most definitely. Definitely put a chip on my shoulder, and, you know, just to see like the light that they view me in, and, you know, the type of person that, you know, they was making me out to be. It's like, oh wow, you know, it's like, shoot, like I'm one of the best defensive ends in, you know, the entire NCAA right now. And like, you know, that's how y'all view me. So, you know, I was like, you know, whatever, the hell with it. Like, I'm going to still, you know, do what I believe. So
you declare for the draft.
So I declare for the draft. And, you know, I was telling my wife, my girlfriend at the time, and I was like, man, babe, like, you know, the Lord just came to me and said, I'm going to go to the Cowboys. She's like, babe, like, you don't worked out with, you know, Carolina Panthers, you know, all these teams, and the Cowboys ain't even talk to you. And I kid you not, 5-10 minutes later, I get a call, 214 number. I'm like, hey, hello? Hey, DeMarcus, this is Leon Lett, man. You know, we want to come out there to Boise to work you out. I'm like, Leon Lett, with the Cowboys? I'm like, oh my God,
wow,
Lord, what is going on? So I'm like, yes, you know, so
you had the dream, and then here it is.
Had the dream, then here it is, you know, happening all in real time. And it's like, oh, snap, Lord. So I can actually trust until like what you showing me.
Sure.
You know, so like that was another boost in my faith.
Yeah.
You know, and now it's like, all right, now I'm working out with the Cowboys, and, you know, draft time comes around. So my wife's pregnant, so she can't travel, you know, too far from her hospital. So it was like, all right, like all my family, you know, ain't gonna make it up here to Boise. Like, what is like a meeting place? It's like, well, shoot, Vegas got taken away from me. So I might want to just go back to Vegas.
Back where it all started in a way, right?
Yes, indeed. So my draft party.
You stay awake for the whole draft party, though.
Yeah, definitely did. Definitely did. But so, I had my workouts and stuff, and I'm like, all right, like I know I had good workouts, good pro day and stuff. Like, these coaches seeing my measurables, and I'm like, I should be going first round. So Jadeveon Clowney goes. Cowboys pick Zach Martin.
South Carolina guy, right?
South Carolina guy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, like, one of these teams gonna get me, like shoot. They see me as a 3-4 outside linebacker, and it's like, all right, here go the Redskins. The Redskins really wanted me. 32nd pick. He didn't pick me. So it's like, I'm just soaking that first entire day, like, man, bro, like, it's gonna be a long one, dog. Like, and it's like just hearing, those thoughts of the agents before, like, you're gonna go 5th or 7th round, and it's like, oh man. So the next day, round 2, I'm in the room, draft about to start, I'm getting ready, slow poking around, like.
You have all the hats and everything is already. They're gonna go live to you depending on who it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we was at Emerald Stadium or whatever.
Okay.
The Cook.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So like we was in, his place and like had all the hats set up, and the next day I'm just, lollygagging around, and it's like, man, they ain't gonna call my name no time soon, so I don't need to be there at the beginning of the draft. Everybody calling me like, where you at? Where you at? Like, man, I'm walking down here right now. Like, stop calling me. So I stopped answering the phone. So I'm walking down there.
I'm 5th round.
I'm walking down there, and one of my aunts, she ran up to me and she's like, oh my God. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why are you trying to hug up on me and stuff? Like, watch out, and like my agent just peels the corner like in a full turn. He's like, here, the phone. I'm like, hello? Hey, DeMarcus, this is Mr. Jones. I'm like, Mr. Jones? Like, yeah, we're gonna select you with the 34th pick in the draft. And I'm just sitting there like, oh man, this really going down. But like, I'm like, the Cowboys ain't even got that pick. Like my mind is like, what is really going on?
So you planned out thinking, here's the teams that need it.
The Redskins actually had the 34th pick.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like, huh? It's like, no, they traded with the Redskins, dude. Like, this thing is going down. So it's like, now, my dreams are actually becoming reality. I ain't tell you that when I was younger, my dad actually kicked me out of the household.
Wow.
So I'm about 7, 8 years old, and, Cowboys was playing against the Denver Broncos, and they had Terrell Davis at the time. And,
my feelings about the Broncos. We won't bring that up.
Not this episode. But anyways, like Terrell Davis was playing at the time, and I'm like, man, that's a bad boy. Like, I like him.
TD, yeah.
Yeah, my dad was like, come here, son. What's up, Pops? Come here, step outside. Step outside, close the door behind me. I'm like, huh? What's that all about? This man didn't come back until halftime.
Oh my gosh.
Halftime. The street lights was on. And I'm like, shoot, like they usually want me in the house.
That's the come home. Yeah, that's the come home
I'm just sitting
sign.
there on the porch. He opens up the door. He's like, now who you rooting for? I'm like, oh man. I'm like, Cowboys. He's like, all right. Now you coming to my house. And yeah, so like, being raised in the Cowboys environment, like Cowboy fans don't play, man. So it's either, you with us or you're not. And I made that decision when I was young. So like now, fast forward into the draft and actually being drafted by him, like,
it's huge for the family, it's huge for you. It's everything.
Huge for the family, So, we all in there hugging, crying, just making that memory.
Yeah.
And it was just an amazing time. And,
Do you almost get to reflect a little bit on all those moments of adversity, not being able to play, and then having challenges off the field, not being able to play, questioning, is this for me? What's my path? And then here you are, and it's the Cowboys, and you didn't even expect to get drafted. And, is it that just kind of surreal moment?
It was definitely a surreal moment, man. And, being in that moment, it was like, you never know the road that God's going to take you on.
Yeah.
Just continue to have faith and, continue to stay strong through the process and continue to put one foot after the other. You'll potentially get where you're going, and, all those obstacles that I had to, face through my, my road that I traveled, it was like, man, like, you had a lot of bumps in the road, dude. But like, what are you going to use those bumps for, to propel you in your future,
Yeah.
So.
Using those obstacles as fuel to
Right.
succeed versus using the obstacles as excuses as why not.
Oh, yeah.
Because it would have been very easy to say, oh, it's not for me. It's not the path.
Yeah. But also using those obstacles as, learning lessons. Like, shoot, if you driving down your street and you got a pothole at a certain distance, you're gonna remember to avoid that pothole.
Yeah.
Coming down that road. So now, even though like now I'm entering a new road, it's still, basically the same.
Yeah.
So
what was it like coming in as a rookie now in the NFL?
Yeah, man. So
do you have to buy like the $15,000 dinner bill that they talk about? Or
Oh yeah. So rookie D-Law, man, so now I'm here, and I get the name D-Law.
Yeah.
And I'm living it up, man. I'm drafted. Now I got some coins in my pocket, and shoot, now I got different, role models. So
yeah.
Now I got, Dez Bryant as one of my role models, Tony Romo, Jason Wynn, DeMarco Murray,
Yeah.
With those guys, I'm in the same, vicinity, and it's like, oh, snap, like, I'm one of the boys.
Yeah. When you say your locker was next to Tony Romo?
Yeah, my locker was right next to Tony, so like we was able to build a relationship, I'm being a rookie and he's 9th, 10th year or whatever. Yeah, so had to make sure all my stuff was on a certain side, couldn't cross his line and all that. Yeah, but shoot, I was like, dang, man, like, I'm here with Dez. Now I get to live like these boys, so my first year, having a good time, in and out, the club scene, partying, traveling, shoot, I got money now. I'm eating good, all this.
Not really thinking about anything besides right now.
Right. So rookie dinner, had to pay my little dues, 15, 20K, yeah, but like this is for the, shoot, this ain't even for the whole team. This is just for the D-line.
Yeah.
It's like, shoot, man. They're basically saying, hey, man, bro, like, second round, 34th pick, bro, you basically first round, dog. Like, you gonna pay. So it was like, all right, man, I got y'all boys, and then I had, nothing but, great leaders around me. I had Tyrone Crawford, Jeremy Metzi, Selvey, George Selvey, and my nose tackle was Nick Hayden.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, having those boys and, real grown men around me setting the example, it's like, all right, this is how you're supposed to move, but, I'm still a young boy, like, all right, but like these boys over here having fun. I want to, move like them, but I get to now, the end of my second year, and during the beginning of my at the end of my second season, starting to have back problems. I'm like, man, what's going on? So go see the doctor, L4, L5, S1, bulging disc and herniation. So I'm like,
had that. It's not fun.
I'm like, why me, Lord? Like, I'm gonna have to sit down for, the season. Like, and it's like, no, you actually not. Like, the healing process is way faster, than what you think. So it was just really, the time that I had to spend in my own mind, Did
you have surgery to repair it?
Yeah, I had surgery to repair it, and it was like, now, like, you got to sit through the healing process, like, you can't really do nothing or make no quick, sudden movements. And it's like, all right.
Got to live in your head a little bit.
Yeah, so I get to, my third year, and I'm coming back off this injury. I'm training now, and never forget, I'm doing we call it a 5-10-5. So you run 5 yards, turn back, hit the line, run 10 yards, turn back. And as I'm getting to the 10, I turn my foot without turning my body. So my body is still facing you, but my foot is turned back. And I just feel the pain just radiate down my leg. And I'm like, it's like it happened. And my coach like, why are you stopping? Like, let's go. I'm like, coach, this thing don't happen again, bro. Like, just mad, walking off the field or whatever. Yep, get to the doctor. Yep, you re-herniated it. So like they cleaned me up, cleaned out some of my scar tissue and had to sit through the recovery stage again. So now I'm missing 5-6 games.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, cool. What am I gonna do now to make sure like this never happens again? And now I'm working through the rehab process with the PT. And it was really about just training my core,
Yeah, that's huge for backs.
Huge for backs. And I didn't understand, like, your core is actually your foundation of your body, and like, shoot, it was basically telling me, in the spiritual realm that my foundation is messed up. Like, you trying to carry all of this, but like, you don't have the proper foundation to be carrying all this, so, as soon as you make it in the NFL or in the league, like, family think, we're rich now. What I mean? Like, all our worries are gone, you know, and, taking on that responsibility as a young man, like, you think you king of the world, like, you think you can actually, do this, but you don't understand that, the well will run dry if you ain't replenishing it.
Yeah.
And
can't pour from an empty cup.
Yeah, salary doesn't mean like, that's what you're going to get up front. Like, no, it means that's what you're going to earn over time. And we have the opportunity to cut you at any point.
Yeah.
So don't make all of that.
Well, sometimes people say NFL is not for long.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So, in my third year, like, understanding, all right, I got a shaky foundation, I got to tighten up my core, now.
Mentally and physically.
And now, like, going into my fourth year, it's like, all right, like, nope. So at the end of the third year, I go completely broke. Yeah. Yeah, I went completely broke. And, I get that phone call from my accountant, and he's like, hey, man, like, you don't have no more money in your account. I'm like, how is that possible? Like, what is your job? Like, what are you doing? Like, why didn't I get this phone call before when I had $10? Like,
yeah.
What do you mean no more? You mean like $0? Like, what are you saying? He's like, I mean like negative $100. I'm like, how? Like, so I'm just sitting there, and, I walk in the house, and, I tell she's my fiance now, my wife, and she's like, man, like, I really wanted to tell you, like, you was moving crazy, but I didn't want to, step on your feet, because, we're not technically married yet, and she's like, I ain't want to, make our relationship shaky or whatever. Yeah. I'm like, man, I respect that, but dang, bro, like, you could have said so. Like, somebody could have said so, and.
But you almost had again, it's another one of those lessons to strengthen the core.
Yeah, but I never forget, like, 2 minutes later, my dad called me. He's like, hey, son, like, I need you to help me out. I need something. I'm like, Dad, man, I ain't even let him finish telling me what he need to help with. I'm like, Dad, like, man, I'm completely broke. He's like, what do you mean? Like, like.
You're in the NFL.
You're in the NFL. Like, what are you talking about? He was like, Dad, man, my accountant just said I got $0. She's like, huh? Like, hold on, son. Like, what's going on? Are you stupid? And when he said those words, like, it hit my soul. It's like, are you? Like, because you had a huge blessing right here, and you did not steward it well. You did not.
Squandered it.
Yeah, I definitely squandered it. And it's like, oh, man, my dream is falling away again. So I'm in the room, crying and, asking God, why me, and, the Lord came to me and said, you have to learn in order for me to, give you your next blessing. So, like, going into my fourth year, that was contract year. So being broke that whole summer, having to work out, all that, luckily I had a, accountability brother, Tyrone Crawford.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, D, man, like, what made you so successful at Boise? He's like, I was like, shoot, I ain't had no money, and shoot, like, I had to ride the bike everywhere.
Yeah.
He was like, well, shoot, that's what we gonna do. So I was like, all right. So like every morning before workouts, we actually ride our bikes to the facility.
Wow.
Yeah, and work
Get your
out.
mind back into that. It's time to grind. It's time to get back to it.
Oh yeah. So like, you know these Texas summers, man. Like,
Oh yeah. It's nice and
crispy out
cool.
here.
Yeah. You thought Kansas was hot.
All right. But yeah, man, it gets pretty crispy out here. So like, you know, just going through that and like going through that hard time, it was like, all right, hard times, either, you know, build tough men or, you know, build soft men. Which one are you gonna be? You know, and it's like, I had my son at the time and, you know, me and my wife, you know, trying to build our family. It's like, all right, dude, like, you don't have to man up. Like, you know, you have no money to support what you call your family. Do you think she's really going to stay with a man with no job, you know, trying to marry her, you know, and bring her into this type of environment and you're broke? Like, nah, like, and I don't even want to put that type of stress on her. You know, so it's like, all right, now it's time to you really dedicate and, you know, drive hard to what you really want, you know.
So you strengthen the core, right?
Strengthen the core.
Mentally, spiritually, physically. Great contract year. And here you are.
As I thought I strengthened the core. And after that 4th year, the Cowboys put me under the franchise tag. And like, yeah, it sounds good, you know, but it ain't necessarily always good.
Yeah.
And it was like, dang, like, you know, they respect me enough to give me $17 million in 1 year. It's like, all right, cool. It's like, but they don't respect you enough to give you a 4-year $100 million.
Right.
And so why is that? You know, it's like, I didn't understand all the variables that, you know, came into, you know, why they make these decisions, you know, and it's like, dude, like, you like to party, you know what I mean? Like, you like
those character things, right?
Yeah, you like to spend money, you know, like, and shoot, why if you was in a position to, you know, give somebody something in this large amount and you know how they're going to steward it, would you give it to them? You know, and so it was like, oh, wake up call, you know, I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you know, I'm here, but I'm not here, you know, and it was like, well, that's how you actually living your life. You want to be a family man, but you want to be in the club, you know, like that's not, you know.
They're not correlated.
Yeah, they're not matching, you know. Yeah. So it's like, all right, like now you have to really take accountability into what you're bringing into your life, you know. So it's like, all right, Lord, I'm going to stop, you know, swaying between two opinions and actually, you know, stand firm on this side, you know, with my family, with my team, you know, and lead the rest of the world for the rest of the world, you know. So now I'm here.
Now you're here, right? So it's that moment, like it's just crazy. You think your life, you have something you wanted, it's taken away. You have something you want, it's taken away. And the message is internal. Take care of yourself, take care of yourself. And then here now, that franchise tag experience, once you take care of yourself, then you can be that leader.
Right.
Then you can be that person. But you can't lead if you're not taking care of yourself first.
Indeed.
Which is so important.
Indeed. Yeah, man. So now I'm here and, you know, now I'm in the aspect of being captain of the defense.
Yeah.
And, you know, having that responsibility.
Do you see that on the other side now? You're captain of the Dallas Cowboys on the defense.
Right.
You got rookies coming in. You got type A personalities. I'm coming in, I'm the tank, right? You know, people thinking that. How do you have that accountability conversation with somebody who's maybe the old you coming into the league?
Yeah, man. You know, it can be definitely tough at times. You know, you just want to really just tell your testimony to them on, you know, the challenges that you faced in life, different struggles that you had to, you know, go through and witness, like, and shoot, like, you know, I think like the hardest part, you know, about being an NFL football player is actually, you know, understanding the financial dynamics of it. You know, like everything ain't how it's supposed to be. You know, these, you know, images of, you know, what y'all see on Ballers and all that is, you know, is fake. You know, and like, you know, you have to definitely, you know, try to humble, you know, and bring, you know, these young guys back down to, you know, see the big picture because, you know, when the lights and cameras are on, you know, shoot, it's showtime. You know, so, and you can get into that mode, and now you're actually carrying that on the field and off the field.
Yeah.
It's always showtime, but it's not always showtime. So, just try to explain that to them.
Yeah. And when you're a captain, how important is culture to a winning organization?
Oh, it's huge, man. Culture and communication, are the two hugest things in, building a team or, building a brotherhood. If y'all can't get along and, y'all don't, find that time together, peaceful and, something that y'all can hold on to, then it's going to break away easily.
Yeah.
And if y'all aren't communicating, to the proper level, then shoot, y'all ain't going to go nowhere.
Right.
So like those two things are definitely, huge in the aspects of, building a team and, brotherhood for sure.
Do you think the communication is part accountability to hold people to the standard, to be a part of the culture?
Oh, yeah. It definitely is. And having that communication, and that culture to where each of your players and you understand like how they're gonna receive, the different information that you're gonna give them. Now, you can hold them accountable, to a certain extent, especially when it's, doing your job, but also, what is their why? You know what I mean? What is their purpose? Why are they playing the, game of football? You know what I mean? And it's like, all right, say for instance, like you my D tackle, and I tell you, if I say hit it, that means get off the ball as fast as you can and go straight through that B gap. Don't let nothing stop you, and now, you actually try to do it, but somebody stops you. And now, it basically, we can't even finish the development of the play. Now I come to you, it's like, hey, like, shoot, I ain't gonna lie, I lost on that play too because you didn't win, but you gotta understand, like, my family already eating. Your family the one that gotta eat now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can't let no wall stop you from getting where you need to go. Go harder. And that's how I hold them accountable.
Yeah. Tie that why and the vision into their action.
Oh,
it's huge. It's huge. Well, I appreciate the time that you've given us here today. It's a phenomenal story.
Appreciate
it's amazing to kind of see how that's gotten you to where you are today and all the success. So before we're done, we have one thing. As you know, we have a bit of a tradition here on the Level Up Lifestyle, which is the bobblehead.
Yeah.
Right, we got him standing back. You got Drew Pearson is watching you amongst others. So, you are gonna get your very first. Have there been a bobblehead night yet at 18 season? No, nothing.
Bobblehead.
Okay, well here we go. It's bobblehead day.
Yeah.
At Globe Life, and this is the official Level Up Lifestyle DeMarcus Lawrence bobblehead.
Wow.
There you go. Congratulations.
No way.
That is you.
This is definitely Jalen Hurts.
Oh, no. Okay. I can, maybe we wanted to motivate you, right? I mean, every time you see that's the person you want to see, right? So,
most definitely. Definitely a good motivator.
Yeah, that could be some of the best NFL smack talk on NFL films is, hey, I got a bobblehead of you, right?
Indeed. With my name on it.
That's right. That's right. So anyway, so the bobbleheads represent kind of who you are and who you've become. And, we talked about that journey and strengthening of the core and things like that. But if you were to go back in time, if that is maybe, when you're 8 or 9 and you're wanting to play and you're not able to, or sitting on that plane back from Las Vegas to Aiken, and when trying to figure, is this over? What am I going to do next? If you were to take who you are today, all encompassing, and give yourself some advice back in those crossroad moments, what would that be?
I have to go with be patient, young grasshopper. That is going to be a long journey that, I know you want to, keep attacking everything that you do, but it comes a time where you have to be patient, be still, and, let life come to you instead of trying to chase it all the time.
Yeah, that's great. All right. Well, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope this episode has inspired you on your path to success. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next story. See you soon on the Level Up Lifestyle Podcast.